Welcome to the Born to Build podcast. I'm here with my boy Victor. Today's episode is going to be freaking special, man, because this dude's a beast at e-com. He's a beast just in general. He's a good freaking dude. He's been screwed over quite a bit too.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into all that. So.
And dude, let's kick it off, bro. Tell the people who you are. Like, who is Victor?
Cool. So my name is Victor Munoz. If you want to search me up on Instagram, it's at ecom_Vic. I have been doing e-com for 2.5 years now. I'll go on my third year. Basically, like you mentioned, been screwed over by bad business partners, bad ad accounts, you name it. I've been probably screwed over by it. But anyways, you just gotta keep on moving forward.
It's part of the game.
I am a 6-figure per day dropshipper now. I own a social media marketing agency. Got a couple brands going, so a little bit of everything. And yeah, just hungry.
Well, dude, let's start off there, man. Like, where did your desire to even do all this shit come from?
Bro, so I guess it's like the interview first, because I haven't really told much people like publicly about the story. But long story short, I dropped out of college after my third year. Reason being is that I finished my third year of college and I realized I was really behind. Never failed a class, nothing like that. And basically went up to my counselor. I was like, "Yo, why am I so behind?" And they basically told me it's because we've been firing teachers and there's been less classes. Therefore, like it's very impacted, whatever. So I was like, you know what? That summer I made a decision. I just was like, I do not want to be in here, because basically she told me it's going to take another 3 years. I was like, dude, I've been here for another 3 years. Like, that's 6 years for a 4-year degree. That's only going to pay me 50 G's a year. So I'm just like, and the field I was in was biochemistry. So those jobs were actually declining. So I figured by the time I actually finish, there'd be no jobs. And funny enough, I was actually supposed to graduate this year. So imagine that. Like,
dang, bro.
Terrible. So
oh my God.
I'm really glad that I dropped out. It was the right move. But basically, that summer I contemplated. I ended up getting into digital marketing through like some trade school kind of thing. And then that just kind of, I stumbled upon some dropshipping videos, and then I got into dropshipping full time. I actually worked at an agency as well, though, for a little bit. So just kind of transitions to dropshipping.
Well, dude, I mean, there's so many topics I want to cover from like school, obviously, like you got to see like, yo, this isn't the right opportunity for me. But bro, I really want to, what was the biggest thing you learned? Because I know you've had some like pretty big quote unquote mistakes, right? Or like, learning lessons.
For sure.
What would you say is the biggest thing you learned from like your entire experience? Because like for those of you guys that are watching, if you don't know, like he's actually done like $100,000 like, not days, right? Yeah, he's done $100,000 days, which is insane. So like, what's your biggest, like, what was the biggest thing you learned?
Okay, so the biggest thing I've learned, and I think just goes for everybody watching this, of you're new or like just kind of intermediate, even if you're advanced, just be willing to go all in. And like, this is kind of like the thing that me and my homies say, like me and my business partners, like, we're willing to crash the ship. Like we're gonna crash the Titanic into the fucking iceberg every time, because we're willing to risk it all for the win. If I think that's what separates like the 100K a day people, to the 10K a day people. Like, we don't care about crashing the boat. I don't care about losing all my month's profit. As long as if that hits, like, it's game over. You made more than anybody could ever fathom in that small time frame. So don't be afraid to crash the ship is like the analogy, I guess, that we would say for my biggest lesson.
Dude, that's dope, man. It's basically, you just got to risk it all, man. You just got to say,
risk it all every
F
time.
it.
I mean, obviously make it a calculated risk. Like, don't just gamble. Like, don't go to the casino and fucking throw 100 on fucking.
Dude, I love how earlier you were like, and just literally just now you were like, with my homies, my business partners.
Yeah, I mean, they become your business partners become homies. But like, Asus is definitely a homie, but we've never had a business together. But eventually, I'm pretty sure that day
it'll happen, bro.
I mean, we keep our circle really tight, and he's like definitely one of those friends in that circle. So definitely, I'm pretty sure something will happen along the way. But yeah, I just gotta kind of throw it in there because it was like, whatever.
Bro, honestly, you hit on something earlier about the economy. Obviously, we're in 2020. We're in like this whole quarantine situation.
Yeah.
California's weird, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, everyone outside wearing masks is a little weird to me. Because in Arizona, like, people, are kind of like not doing that as much.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this whole situation, bro?
I think just the pandemic's very weird for sure. I think it caught everybody by surprise. Like nobody's having a proper birthday. It kind of sucks, myself included. I think by October we're still gonna be under this, but whatever.
Yeah.
I think for the economy, I think it socially woke up a lot of people to get a side hustle. I see a lot of people now starting small businesses, whether it be finding watches from AliExpress and just selling to their friends locally, or like cutting up fruit, or just little things like that. I see a lot of small businesses pop up, which I think is really good. It's a kind of an awakening. I think it also shook up the college system because like now everybody's taking strictly online classes.
Yep.
At the end of the day, like that's not for everybody, but it sucks that people are still paying full tuition prices for this, and people 100%. Are starting to really question it finally.
100%.
Like why they're paying so much for college, and when they're not really getting the value. And then the people who did graduate are starting to see that their degree is, like, for lack of a better term, worthless. Unfortunately,
You can say worthless. I agree. Fucking wholeheartedly.
I just, it's a very touchy subject. So
it's a hard. Well, it's a tough term to say because like when you say worthless, like people have spent their entire 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 years
just getting it, and
getting
now they
it.
can't find a job because of this, right? Which is not necessarily their fault. I think it just depends on the major, right? Like some majors are obviously in demand, but there's a good majority of them that are not, and these people aren't really like finding jobs. For example, I know this girl, she got her master's, graduated, got her master's in teaching credentials and all that stuff, and she's just like posting like, hire me to be a tutor. I'm like, she can't even get a teaching job. She's like going to tutoring.
That's
like,
crazy.
I charge 18 an hour. I'm like, 18 an hour, you spent 6 years, that fucking blows,
Well, bro, not only just that, bro, but she's in debt.
Now she's
like
in debt.
She's in debt.
That's the bigger problem.
Like you are chained to 50 to 80 to 120,000 plus.
Exactly.
For like 40 years.
Yeah. So yeah, it just honestly, I think it shook up the college, which I think these are all things that needed to happen. I think the pandemic, in the grand scheme of things, it sucks right now because we can't really do things. But I think when we look back at it years from now, it literally will be the event that changed so much. Like people are going to be more financially literate. People are going to see that college is kind of a scam, and just more stuff in that nature. So,
dude, I fully agree with you, man. I think that life doesn't happen to us; it happens for us, bro. And the system we were working in for so long was it was wrong, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it was wrong. So we had to hit a critical mass point, which is, dude, like all this sorts of crazy stuff up happening.
Fucking got bombarded on us, man.
Exactly, bro. But dude, I mean, if you can give yourself one piece of advice, right? Like when you were first starting off, I know you said go all in.
Yeah.
That was one of them. What's the other one?
This is one thing I preach a lot is don't overlearn. So like I believe in something called information overload, and that's kind of like where people continuously learn to the point where they never take action. And I think that's the biggest mistake. What's all this knowledge good for if we're never going to use it? I think the biggest lessons come from you actually trying and failing or succeeding, right? So my biggest lessons come from failing, and that's where I learned how to crash the ship, right? Like we mentioned. So it just depends. So I say just jump in and just go in it. Like you probably know more than you think. So just apply it. If it fails, learn from that, make some changes, and then go again. That's kind of just the best way. So those kind of go hand in hand, both those lessons. So don't be afraid to crash the ship, risk it all, and don't overlearn. Just apply that knowledge in that risk factor.
Just go. Dude, I think you're so right about that because I think that a lot of people, like you were saying, they fucking... The success zombies, right?
Exactly.
The term success zombies is real because people consume so much information, bro, but they don't do anything with it. Because I think the term knowledge is power has been taken out of context.
Exactly.
So instead of it being like knowledge is power, it's like applied knowledge is power.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah, and the thing is that people, like there's some people who literally will watch a YouTube video on like whatever topic they're trying to learn. And that's enough gratification for them to be like, you know what, I did my my time for the day. They just move on, but they didn't really do anything.
Yep, 100%. So, dude, I know product research for a lot of people that may be watching this or into e-com is kind of like a difficult thing for people.
Yeah.
You've had obviously winning products, bro. Can you kind of break down like your strategy, your process, so that people can benefit from that as well?
My strategy is very long, actually. So we might not be able to cover, but I'll give you like the kind of like I call them indexes that I look in a product. So before anything, I always have in my mind when I'm researching these three following things. So number one is make sure the product can't be found in like a department store or gas station. So nothing from Target, nothing that could be found in a gas station or Target, Walmart, whatever. Second thing, high perceived value, something that could comfortably showcase it to the customer, but like up the price by like 2 to 3x and nobody will question it. And number 3 is just good margin. So like I basically like look at for $25 minimum profit margin after cost of goods and everything, just to account for ads, because ads cost money, obviously. And the average cost on Facebook right now is like $10 to $20 to sell one product. So you want to kind of have that, you know, in that margin, so that way you have enough cushion to make profit.
That's actually really good, bro. It's really detailed.
Yeah, and then from there, the next index is that I make sure the product fits like one of these following. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. I always refer to my doc I made, but basically I want to make sure that it either saves people time, saves people money, improves convenience, improves quality of life, makes people confident, and just stuff like that. So I basically make sure the product will check a couple of those boxes, at least 3 minimum, and then from there I'll funnel it through a whole nother system, which again, like that's kind of like another complex.
Well, so you just said you said a really critical word right there, systems.
Yeah.
Can you touch on how important systems are when you're trying to scale?
Yeah, systems are incredibly important. And the thing is that you might have something that you don't call a system, but it really is a system. That's just kind of weird. So I didn't really believe in systems last year, but now I started saying that I was doing repetitive actions, and those are your systems, like ironically enough, right?
Yep.
So systems are very important. So I have my system with my product research. It's 3 like mini systems in one big system, and that's my product research system. It's working really well. It just keeps you focused, it keeps you organized, and it keeps you on task, right? Like now I'm not diverging, looking at other things. I'm just kind of focusing on that system, and then I move into like my scaling or testing systems, right? Basically, it's just a refined list of actions that I apply to whatever task I'm doing at the time.
I think that's dope, man. I think that honestly, where people kind of go wrong sometimes is that they don't understand what a system truly is, right?
Exactly.
You broke it down in a great way. So it's repetitive tasks, doing it the same way every time.
Exactly.
So it's a lot easier for you. It doesn't involve more, I guess, mental burnout, really. Yeah. But dude, you can delegate it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I think that as an entrepreneur, like, yeah, if you love what you do, like you're going to love it, absolutely. But the thing is that at a certain point, if you're going to want to grow, you have to have a system, bro.
Exactly. And a system, like the benefit, like you mentioned, is just that it's repetitive enough that it eventually becomes teachable, and you could teach it to somebody, right? So I'm not at the point where I have a VA. I haven't had time to look for a proper VA to find the products for me, but eventually that's the goal. I'm gonna have like just a team of 3 VAs who I teach the system to. And basically at the end of it, they're just going to show me the products and I'll refine it a little bit more. But essentially now I have a team actively looking for me consistently.
But you become like 10 times more productive.
I believe so. I think at that point, I will also probably show them how to test the product, so I don't have to just do the launch. The scaling part would just be my responsibility. And at that point, I could literally just give them a budget and be like, look, spend this much on products, and then anything that looks scalable, call me. I'll just get that. And now I can use that time frame that I'm saving to go focus on other projects.
Yup, 100%. I think it's so critical too, man. I was on a call with one of my boys earlier, asking him just some questions about investing and whatnot. Okay. And he broke down like, dude, you just reverse engineer the process. Like you were talking about, right? Yeah. You pick apart like, okay, well, let me go ask someone or somebody who has the information that I want, like what they would want, right? Or like you ask your customers like in the testing phase, you're like, yo, okay, do you guys want this? Do you guys like this, right? Does this add value to your life?
And
you know?
If it does, then yeah, you rock with it. If not, you just kind of diverge or adjust it or move on from it, you know?
Absolutely, bro. So this interview is honestly just meant to be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Because if you guys are watching this, it's actually like, it's 12:30.
I took out my watch already, man.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm done for the day.
But you know what I mean? Like this is part of the hustle. It's part of the grind, bro. Like I appreciate you, man. Where can people follow you, man?
So again, like I mentioned, at ecom_Vic on Instagram. I don't really have a YouTube yet, but that's the best way to reach
coming
me.
soon.
Coming soon. Yeah, and that's really the best way to reach me. I don't have too much of a big following yet, but you know, I'm always on there. I do lives every now and then. I do Q&A. So if you have any dropshipping questions or ecom questions in general, hit me up. I'll be happy to answer.
And as he said earlier, guys, I'm really particular about who I keep in my circle. This guy right here, I keep in my circle because he knows his stuff and he's a good dude.
Exactly. And vice versa. You know, he's the king of like all this content stuff. He's bringing you guys free value with interviews like this. That's super dope. Definitely much respect to you,
Appreciate you, man.
And yeah, super great guy. I've known him for like a little bit over a year now, and yeah, just
this is great. I'm hyping him up, and he's hyping me up.
We always get into super deep convo, so I wish it was a little long because we could literally probably go for like 3 hours.
We could. That's why I'm like, dude. Okay, well we gotta crash. We gotta eat. We gotta crash. Yeah, all right, so. Bro. Dude, thank you so much for being on, man. Heck yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Comment below what your favorite part was, and yeah, guys, let's get it.